Plastic Nation, and ting and ting and ting. Back with some more vibes for all you. Yes, you know what I mean. And I did a reaction to some of the best oceanfront living houses, and it was $1 million houses. And I know on the Facebook page and stuff, I post pictures and stuff, and people say you always posting. They did say because I posted some. What about some affordable places and stuff? You know what I mean? So you know what? I like traveling. I found this video here called 16 affordable places to travel if you are broke. So I decided to react to that. See what I go on with it and thing, you know what I mean? So hey, let's YouTube and Simma and watch this. I'm kinda excited to see, because it says if I'm broke, I could do a budget thing, and go to like exotic places and all of that. So let's see what's going on.
Facts First presents 16 affordable places to travel if you're broke. Number 1. Auckland, New Zealand.
I wouldn't mind going to New
Auckland,
Zealand.
New Zealand has some of the cheapest food and accommodations in the world. If you're going to take a trip there, the most expensive part of the trip would be the flight itself. This is especially true if you're flying from the United States. If you're going to travel and you need to spend most of your budget on travel, you won't need much money once you arrive in Auckland. Number 2. Marrakech, Morocco. If you're planning to take a trip between October and May, consider visiting Marrakech, Morocco. In 2015, TripAdvisor named it the #1 travel destination. The reason that you need to go between October and May is that that's the time of the year where hotel prices drop drastically, as well as food prices. If you're traveling on a budget, that could be the perfect place. Number 3. Machu Picchu, Peru.
Bucket list.
Machu Picchu, Peru is an incredibly beautiful place.
Yeah.
If you love to hike, there are plenty of things for you to do, and many of them are free. You can visit the Incan ruins of Machu Picchu, which is absolutely breathtaking. If you're a hardcore hiker, you can hike the Inca Trail. If you want to spend the day relaxing by the water, you can enjoy the Peruvian coast. There are so many free activities to keep you busy that you'd be able to spend more on your flight, your food, and your lodging. Number 4. Varna, Bulgaria. For some reason, Varna is often underrated. It's one of the most affordable Eastern European cities to visit, and the views are breathtaking. It's a resort town, and it's right on the coast of the Black Sea. A trip to Varna won't break the bank, and this town can give you an experience of a lifetime. Number 5. Medellin, Colombia. Thanks to crime, cocaine, drug trafficking, and Pablo Escobar, tourists have been avoiding Colombia for years. Over the last few years, cities such as Medellin, Cali, and Bogota have been improving Colombia's reputation. These places have become very popular with tourists, and they're much safer than they used to be. Of all the cities that are best for tourists, Medellin has the most reasonably priced food and lodging. You might even be able to find some free things to do to fill up your days.
Man, it looks clean.
Number 6. Angkor Wat, Cambodia. Cambodia is a very inexpensive place to stay. However, you might need to have a big budget when it comes to traveling there. The airfare is pretty expensive. If you've always wanted to see the Buddhist temple Angkor Wat, well, you should consider spending the extra money it'll take to get there. Hey, at least the stay will be cheap. Number 7. Madrid, Spain.
What?
When people are planning a trip, they often count Europe out because it's known to be so expensive. While many parts of Europe are, Spain is cheaper than you might think. There is plenty to do and see in Spain. If you're going to travel to Spain, you should visit in September, October, April, or May. The prices of food and lodging go down during these months. You also won't need to worry about Spain being overloaded with tourists during those times. Number 8. Hanoi, Vietnam.
Can you imagine?
40 years ago, taking a vacation to Vietnam would have been a ridiculous idea. Today, it has become quite the tourist attraction. One of the reasons that people visit Vietnam is the cost. It's very budget-friendly. If you want to visit at the optimal time, try visiting in late December. It'll allow you to avoid the torrential rains that plague the country for most of the year. Number 9. Cuba.
Cuba.
For over half a century, you couldn't get a flight from the United States to Cuba. Finally, flights are available. Since then, it has become a very popular tourist destination. Part of the reason is that Cuba is extremely affordable. You can plan a package trip, which is very economical. Even if you decide to take a last-minute trip, it won't cost too much. If you're going to visit Cuba, the best months to go are from September through November and between January and March. Number 10. Arizona, United States.
Really?
If you want to travel within the United States, you should seriously consider Arizona. There is something for everyone. Arizona is famous for its forests and its deserts. While there, you can camp, stay at a hotel, or at a timeshare. Over the last few years, the accommodations have greatly decreased in the state. If you're going to visit Arizona, you should avoid between June and August. Those months are incredibly hot. Number 11. Crete, Greece. Greece is one of the most beautiful countries in the world. If you want to visit Greece, you should avoid staying in places like Santorini because it's so expensive. You're better off staying in places like Crete. The city's beautiful, and if you want to visit Santorini, it's just a 7-hour ferry ride. Okay, yeah, that sounds like it might be a long trip, but the ferry ride could be the best part of your vacation. Number 12. Bangkok, Thailand.
Thailand.
One of the cheapest places in the world to travel is Bangkok. You can find a room there for as little as $20 per night. The flights there, the food, and the lodging are also cheap too. You should be careful though. The drug scene and the crime are pretty high in Bangkok. As far as tourist attractions go, do your research first. You don't want to visit high crime areas late at night. Number 13. Bali, Indonesia. Bali is a very popular tourist destination due to the fact that the food and the lodging are inexpensive. It's a popular place for the younger crowd too. If you love coffee, you will love Bali. One of the nearby islands of Java, where you can try many types of coffee there. It's named Java for crying out loud. If you're going to visit Bali, you should also visit in April, May, September, and October. If you're going to visit Bali, also bring your camera. The scenery is absolutely amazing. Number 14. Lisbon, Portugal. If you're traveling on a budget and you're worrying about wiping out your whole vacation budget on airfare, you should consider visiting Lisbon, Portugal. When it comes to finding cheap flights to a European destination, Lisbon has the cheapest. If you want to travel during the best time of the year, when the lodging and the food are the cheapest, mid-spring and early fall are your best choices. Number 15. Palawan, Philippines. The Philippines is the best place to visit if you're traveling from the west coast of the United States. The airfare is dirt cheap, which would allow you to spend the rest of your vacation budget on other things. You won't really need to spend it on lodging, however, because a hotel will only cost you about $10 a night. You certainly can't beat that. Number 16. South Korea. Of the 16 affordable places to go if you're broke and still want to travel, this one is your best bet. You don't want to confuse North Korea with South Korea. Big difference there. Nobody in their right mind would want a vacation in North Korea. However, South Korea, that's a different story. The beaches along the nation's coast are gorgeous. Daejeon Beach, which is located southwest of Seoul, is very popular for locals and tourists. If you are a foodie, you can enjoy fine dining at 4-star restaurants at a very low cost. Subscribe for more.
Yes, I tell you, when I was a kid, you know, you live on the island. I mean, living on the island, and you look on all you see is ocean. And I always, as a kid, always wondered what's beyond there. Always wondered what's beyond there. I used to go to the harbor. I had an uncle that used to load bananas on what we call the banana boats back then because we were, you know, very big exports of bananas back in the day. And I remember putting watching them put the bananas on the boat, thinking, man, I wonder where the banana boat is going. Well, I think it was mainly England. But then, I thought about other ports that they sort of travel into and stuff like that. I've always dreamed of all these places and stuff like that. And I had a bucket list, but then I came and got settled and got married. But I tell you, when we were growing up, we always did little traveling trips and stuff like that. You know what I mean? My mom always took us to the regatta in a small island or wherever something is going on. My mom used to, take us there. But so I got the traveling bug from my mom because my mom used to take a little trips and stuff sometimes. But and I'm young. I'm still thinking of taking some trips. As a matter of fact, I live in West Virginia. There's one place I want to go in West Virginia, and maybe I might take a trip there and vlog it. But the New River Gorge, I really want to go there before I leave this area. You know what I mean? I want to go for a bridge jump in there. I just want to go up there because I hear it's gorgeous up there. Several people told me, I should check it out. I wouldn't mind checking that out. Uh, but and that's what I'm saying. If I had that kind of money, shoot, I would have seen every country in the world by now. I would tell you this though. If I have $1 billion, I'm getting and I want to preserve the earth as much as the next guy, but you're gonna have to forgive me. I'll get a plane. I'll buy my own plane. So I could just make my plans and go places and take. You can just have that freedom. Another trip I really want to do, I would like to take a boat from New York to London. And I'm not talking about a little boat or nothing like that. I'm not necessarily a cruise ship, but just a nice size. And go across the ocean. I would love to do that. You know what I mean? When I was growing up as a kid, us fellas used to sit around and talk, and teenagers used to sit around and talk about places we want to go, and countries we want to visit, and blah blah blah. We weren't talking about, yeah, let's bang this chick and let's do this chair and let's get this drinking going and stuff. We talk about stuff like that, go meet different people because living on a tourist island, we get all these people coming in there, all these different people. I would really like to be in their environment. You know what I mean? And that's like I said, you live in West Virginia, it's different. I mean, I might go live in New York, where there's a whole bunch of people from the islands, but I don't need the island to congregate with islanders. I could go visit them. I like being around different people. But anyway, before I go on, I'm telling you, when all of this is over, this pandemic stuff is over, if you get a chance to do some traveling, try it, man. It's cool to go places where stuff is different. If we all were the same, if we all were Muslims, if we all were Christians, if we all were of one specific culture, this place would be so boring. It's okay that we're different, as long as we respect each other. And if one or the other is wrong, Allah, Vishnu, God, whoever you believe in, will take care of it in the end. Worry about being the best person you are and extending that positive energy onto somebody else. And I ain't gonna get on my soapbox. I'm gonna let you guys go. Traveling is the way to go. Meeting new people is the way to go. It's a spice of life, I tell you. And that's one way you could make your life cool runnings.